A lot of people are on self-improvement because they want something. They want cars. They want women. They want money. They want to live a decadent life where they get to do anything and everything and anything they want in their life. They have no issues, and they get to live with designer clothes and designer bags, and live in a mansion with pools and cars and anything you could imagine. It could be yours at the flick of a switch. Butlers and maids and all your worries in life are attended to, and you have nothing left to worry about. But what kind of life is that, really? Having no problems, having no issues, being able to indulge in any hedonistic desire you ever had. What kind of life really is that? When I was young, when I was, I want to say 13 or younger, I was dealing with something a lot of teenage boys deal with. Hormones and, well, lust. I grew up in a religious household, and for us, lust is a sin, right? So one night I was praying, and I said to myself, or I was thinking to myself that if heaven is a place where you can indulge in your own innate desires and your hedonistic desires, then that means if I control myself today, then in heaven, after I die, I can let loose. I can do whatever I like. I'm free to explore any hedonistic desire I've ever had. I can play games. I can let everything go to shit and not have any worries in life. I can do one thing for 24 hours plus until I get bored. And I don't have to worry about school or my parents or anything. I can be as self-indulgent as I like. And only recently have I been thinking about that a little bit more. That doesn't really make sense, does it? Right? I know some of us aren't actually religious, so I'll try not to talk about it from a religious point of view. But why is this knowledge, at the very least you can agree that religion is knowledge and principles passed down from generations to generations. And a lot of people agree with these scriptures. A lot of people agree with the principles of these scriptures. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Because you can agree that your life has gotten better every time you haven't indulged yourself. Or at least I would hope you could agree with that. Every time you haven't lived a incredibly hedonistic life, you haven't indulged your innate desires to just laze around and do nothing and maybe watch porn or something, play video games or watch YouTube videos or YouTube shorts for hours and hours. Anytime you haven't done those things, your life has gotten better. You felt better about yourself. You felt like you were going somewhere. And yet we all have this goal to control ourselves now so that we can do that stuff later. later on in life. We all have this goal that I'm going to control myself now. I'm going to not indulge myself now so that I can indulge myself later. That doesn't make sense, does it? I'm going to deny myself the pleasures of life right now and indulge in them later, after I've made the money, after I've made the money. I think probably money's the one most people go after. After I have the body, after I have the discipline. And you spend all this time, if you really think about it, you spend all this time developing that discipline. You spend all this time developing that discipline, only to let it all go at your highest point in life, at your climax. I don't know why I use the word climax there, but at the highest point of your self-improvement journey, you let it all go and you go back to your degenerate lifestyle that got you into this situation in the first place. Anytime you've lived a degenerate lifestyle, your life has gotten worse. And yet, you want to be on self-improvement so you can live a degenerate life in the future. Now that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Why would these generations and generations of men and women who passed down this advice from thousands of years ago, principles on life, why would they pass it down and tell us that these are important principles to have in life, when the point is that after you die and when you go to heaven, you get to indulge any primal desire you ever had, any dopamine-filled activity that you ever wanted to do in your life. You get to indulge in it all after you die. Why go through all this effort to develop discipline, to develop self-control, if you're just going to let it go anyway? Because right now, what your path looks like is degeneracy right now. But you're not happy with your degenerate life right now. So you're going to develop some self-discipline in the future. And then you're going to ride the coattails of that self-discipline to go back to degeneracy. Where's the logic in this? It doesn't make sense. You're making a full circle, aren't you? Degeneracy to self-improvement, to go back into degeneracy. Here are all these ideas about the 7 deadly sins. There's a reason that this knowledge was passed down through generations, because all of these 7 deadly sins have led to people ruining their lives, no matter what kind of station they were at the time. Lust, wrath, gluttony, greed, sloth, envy, and pride. All these deadly sins that we all try and control in ourselves, all these tendencies that we have to sloth, to lust, to wrath, to envy, to all these different greed, gluttony, and pride, all these tendencies, we try to control them. And for some reason, our goal is to not control them anymore, to not to have to control them anymore. all these sins, all this degeneracy is the reason you're on your current path right now. The reason why you got into self-improvement in the first place, because you wanted to escape the I don't know why it's hard for me to say that word. Degeneracy. Because you wanted to escape that degeneracy that you've lived up until now. You wanted to escape that, and you wanted to be a better person. Why would you make the same mistakes that you made in your past in the future? You know they're wrong, but you want to make those same mistakes in the future too. Why put yourself through all that pain and effort just to let yourself go when you're at your highest point, when you're at your greatest point of your life, and to let it all go and sink back into degeneracy? There's a reason that all these rich men are, or at least some of them, there's a reason why some of them have gone back to religion. When you've made it in some way, these people go back to religion. After indulging their own pleasures for a little bit, they go back to religion. And make of that what you will, but I think there's something important to notice there, that in some way these principles that we've been taught when we were younger, they're right. They're right. And these are the things we should strive for in our own lives. Forever. There is no grass is greener on the other side. Degeneracy now is the same as degeneracy in the future. The difference is maybe you will have something to fall back on when you're in the future. But even then, you're going to lose so much. You're going to lose so much of what you built in a couple months of degeneracy, where you'll wake up in a couple months and realize, I'm back to where I was. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to put through all this effort to just be a degen in the future. You could be a degen now. If that's really what you want, you can be a degen right now. And of course, the consequences are bad. But if really the point of your life is to be in degeneracy, you always have that option. Why make the same mistakes of the past in the future? You're just going to realize that they were mistakes. And you're just going to lose what you build up, what you built up over these past couple of years. And circling back to religion, for God to tell us to control our innate desires, to develop self-discipline, just to let us let loose when we die and we go to heaven. That doesn't make sense. We develop self-discipline for the sake of self-discipline in itself. For the sake of having control over ourselves. Because when we're left to our own devices, in a manner of speaking, we rot. This is something I've been thinking about recently, that this is life. There is no degeneracy in the future. The degeneracy is all around you. But we chose a different path. We wanted to live a different path. We wanted to be better people. And we chose that because we saw what the degenerate life led to. And I hope that you take this to heart. That the point of being on self-improvement isn't to go back to I mess it up again anyway. The point of going on self-improvement isn't to go back to the degen lifestyle. The point of self-improvement is to always be on self-improvement, even when you're already at the top. There's such thing as lifestyle, I don't know what the term is, like lifestyle accumulation or something, where people who make more money also spend more. So their net worth isn't growing, it's staying the same, even though they make more money. That concept exists in the real world. It's a real thing. Don't let the good habits that you develop today go to waste in the future, because I can promise you, you won't like where that path leads. The point of this journey is to learn the principles and to always have the principles with you, and to always keep them and have them close to your heart and use them, and to never let them go. This is life. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's not the light you're looking for. There is satisfaction to find in life, but it's not in the degenerate life, and I think you know that.